You are now locked in with the Booze Brothers podcast, where craft meets culture and every pour tells a story. If you're rocking with us, show some love. Subscribe to the pod, like the episode, and follow us everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Booze Brothers, BRUTHAS. We drop new episodes every Friday, so stay tapped in and don't miss the next round. Let's get into it. Everybody loves the bottle, but nobody talks about what it costs to build one. This is the Booze Brothers, baby. Get your glasses ready. We're about to take you on a journey. Let's go. Yo, what's good, people? This is your main man, Dee Best
and NG.
It's always that like NG. I almost feel like we should do a radio scratch or a record scratch when they NG. And we are the Booze Brothers, baby. This is the first episode, and if you don't know already, we're gonna be a little off and on, rocking left and right, doing what we do, but we're going to make sure to keep the party jumping and do it the best way we can. This is the Booze Brothers show where we talk culture, where we talk lifestyle, and we talk facts, Jack. We got something that we like to do before we start any show, man. We're going to do this inaugural thing. You know what I'm saying, NG? It's called Boozeology, and you get the man, the myth, the legend himself, NG, the MD, breaking down a cocktail of his choice, by the way, and giving you all a little history of why that drink is why it is. You know what I mean? So, NG, what you got for us today, brother?
Vodka martini.
Vodka martini.
The gin martini came first, but the vodka martini to me was the quintessential thing when it came to cocktails in its day. It kind of spread like wildfire, but the first mention of it was in a pamphlet that Smirnoff Vodka put out to promote its vodka with some recipes. But then later, it was featured in the James Bond movies, the Shaken Not Stirred edition.
Yeah.
And that is kind of, to me, what took that cocktail to the next level and became a cultural icon for all of us.
Oh man, I love me some James Bond, man. I've been a Bond junkie for years, and that's dry martini, shaken not stirred.
You know what I would have wanted back in the day?
What's that?
I would have wanted Billy Dee to play Bond.
Man, come on, man. Do you know how cool he was back in the day when he did the Colt 45 commercial? This is Billy Dee Williams, and I'm drinking a Colt 45. Hey, dude. We need to bring that back.
The Billy Dee Bond, baby.
I love that. Listen, man, we are talking from the block to the bottle. And that, to me, that's like an explosive title within itself, because really this is just our way of explaining our origin story of how we got down and were able to get into this space that we call the spirits. You know what I mean? So, man, take us back, NG. Take us back from your origins and what were some of your mistakes and being an actual owner, a master distiller in this space, creating something different that most don't even think we exist in.
I think the farthest back to go would be first trying to make some rum. Right. The first thing I wanted to make, because I wanted to make some sorrel. My best friend's mom used to make sorrel for me in Brooklyn, and I wanted to make some sorrel, and I called my boy up, and he was like, yo, you should make some rum to go with it. And I was like, yeah. And so the first thing I made, trying to make it for myself, was some rum. And I made it to go into some sorrel, and then later that became Elsa sorrel, a product that we carry at the distillery.
Mhm.
And so that is really how it started. I learned how to make booze a long time ago, but it wasn't till then that I thought about it as something that could be a business and a career.
Right, right, right. Now, with that, now break it down for us novice that don't know what sorrel is. What is it made of? I mean, what is it? Is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? I mean,
It
what
is
is it?
it is the hibiscus flower. And
Wow.
that is what the main component of sorrel is. And it's got some cloves and some other spices in it. I'm not giving away the recipe, and some
Right,
orange.
right,
And
right.
everybody makes it different, and
Yeah,
everybody's mom makes it the best.
yeah,
But mine is Elsa's way
yeah.
from East 40th and Flatbush in Brooklyn.
Oh, in
That's how
Brooklyn.
that's how
Yeah,
our sorrel was made,
yeah,
and that's how
yeah,
the rum was made
yeah,
to complement that.
yeah.
And even though we're in the US, I got Caribbean roots, and my
Mhm.
best friend's from Trinidad. So I wanted to make a rum. Though it's an American made product, it goes back to our Caribbean roots. It's
Right,
got that smooth molasses on the front, but then that finish, it gives you that rum funk,
right.
similar to your Ray and Nephews of the world. That
Okay.
really good kind of rum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you could see his face, ladies and gentlemen, he got that font like somebody just took a good one right in the middle of the floor. It's just got that stank to it.
And that, and that's exactly what you want on it. You really want. I always, when we're doing tastings, I always use this analogy. When folks go on a cruise ship and they're getting their nice rum cocktails with their little package,
Yeah.
then they get home and they make the same ones with a brand called Ricardo.
Yeah,
Ricardo.
yeah,
They don't
yeah.
taste the same.
Right.
And I say because it's not the same style of rum.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need a
yeah,
Caribbean style rum that can stand up to all that fruit juice and
yeah, yeah.
all the sweet stuff you're throwing in there.
Right.
And that's why you need a rum that has a little more punch to it.
Exactly. You wanted to still have its kick, but not lose its flavor.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And so continue on, man. You got into the space. Besides that, when you really started to know this was something you wanted to do, and where did this journey start to take you as you started to mold yourself into who you are now?
The first place was the Las Vegas distillery.
Gotcha.
There was a brother named George who sadly passed away way too soon. When he moved to Vegas from Transylvania
All right.
to open his distillery, he was the first legal spirit produced in the state of Nevada. And I was working in Vegas at the time for Let Us Entertain You. And when I wasn't at work, I was there.
Right.
I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to watch it come together. And when it was done and that first spirit trickled off that still, I just thought to myself, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to do when I'm not working for anybody else and I'm doing what I want. I
Right.
want to do this.
Exactly. And there's nothing like when you start to go into a new venture and you feel you get them goosebumps, right? You get that energy and it starts working up in the pit of your belly. It's like, hey, I think this is it. I think this is the move. I think this is the direction that we're gonna take to do something special. You know what I mean? And I think since I've been in this game, man, now rolling with you about 4 years, it's different than anything else I've ever done. Even though I've done a plethora of things, sometimes I can use big words. Sometimes I can let something roll off my tongue. This is the one industry where I say you meet a gang of people that their palates are different. So it's exciting to see how they really settle in with what we're creating as we go through this journey and create and carve out our space in the spirits.
I always say this
Yeah.
from when we started and how we move into space. There's the marketing, there's the promotion, there's the branding, there's creating the bottle, the look, and all the sexiness. But at the end of the day, it is liquid to lips.
Yes, sir.
When people taste your product, they'll know if they're going to buy it again.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that wasted a lot of money on really expensive bottles of spirits just to have them. And then they were not happy with the result.
Yeah. But they use it now for face cleansing. then they get the acne bumps, great alcohol, great rub.
Exactly. I don't ever want to be used for that. I want people to enjoy the products that we make responsibly, but
Exactly.
most definitely enjoy them
Yes,
and
yes.
get into it and
Yeah,
create cocktails
yeah.
and then come back to me later and say, "Yo, man, your stuff was great." And I'll be
Man,
like, "Thank you."
yes, yes. There's no feeling like it. I love when people come back and like the young ladies we did over at shout out to Park Manor 75 and we did the impromptu tasting and they was like, this is the best vodka I've ever had. I mean, and I love this guy. He gives that, you know what? You're welcome.
It take a long time to learn how to take a compliment
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
because this industry is tough.
yeah,
And when you're looking around between the really big companies that are doing their thing,
yeah,
that have been around forever, and then you have a lot of craft spirits that have popped up in the last, let's say, 20 years.
yeah.
But then with the advent of the celebrity owners, it
Yes.
kind of changed the game.
Yeah.
So we went from craft to celebrity.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the celebrity is usually tied to a bigger brand. So they
Exactly.
got a name and they've got the backing of a huge company.
Yeah.
So it's more important than ever that as a smaller producer, we make sure we're delivering quality products
Yeah.
because we got to get people to try it. They're not going to buy it just because of my name,
Exactly.
at least not yet.
Not yet, though. Not yet.
But
It's going.
But the goal is to make sure when somebody does buy it, it's a memorable experience, and it's also a repeat purchase.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing in this space. So, man, let's move on into this. So, what were some of your first distillation lessons as you started to now know and hone and craft your skill set in this space? What were some of those first lessons you like? Oh, I shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean?
When they say most of it's science and it's art.
Yeah.
The first part of creating your mash, your initial product that you're gonna make, let's just call it a beer.
Yeah.
When you're making something with grains, you're basically making a beer first, but you're not making a beer for it to be consumed at the end of it. You're making a beer to turn into something else. So it's a completely different process. I learned how to make beer and make wine and all that stuff in preparation
Right.
because those were the kits that you could buy at
Mhm.
online and at the store to learn. But when you're going from making beer and wine to spirits, you've got to take special care and consideration in your recipes and how they're going to translate to the next, I'll say the next level
Yeah.
of it. But
Yeah.
in that, the first couple of times I did it, the stuff didn't taste too good. I had to learn about
Yeah.
cut points and
Yeah.
how to get to the sweet spot, the heart,
Yeah.
the heads, the hearts, and the tails of it all.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to talk about that a little more in depth later.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
The process of it. But I think that was where I won't call them mistakes because they were lessons,
Yeah.
but definitely a whole lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Learning what was good enough to drink and what to leave in the bucket.
Exactly. Exactly. And even hearing you say that starts to go into some of those early failures that you had, as you were discovering what tastes good, what didn't taste, what does taste good, what is something that's going to linger on the palate when it first hits initially, as opposed to something that hits you in the chest and gives you that warm and fuzzy sensation. Like there's a lot of things that give me a warm and fuzzy.
But we're talking about booze right now.
Oh yeah, booze.
This is still the boozology part.
Yeah,
There's still the boozology portion.
Booze, yeah. It's still booze. So don't give me some of that, man. Give me some of what was something that now, as you look back, that this early failure has now presented itself in the lesson you took away from that.
You know what? I'll take it back to the kits.
Okay.
So
Explain
at first
that,
when
yeah.
I was learning how to make beer and wine, you could buy wine kits or beer kits.
Okay.
So when I decided to do booze, I simply just bought wine and beer kits, and then I distilled the kits at the end. And
Uh,
I was met with varying results, you know,
yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
that, as I learned, I used to just throw stuff away when it wasn't good.
Right.
But now that it's a business, you know,
Yeah.
everything can become vodka.
Yeah.
You can distill it all.
Right.
It can
Right.
become the acne cleanser. It can,
Exactly.
and if it's the real bad stuff, we can use it for cleaning the floors
Right.
and
Right.
getting scuff marks off of stainless steel and all of
Exactly.
that stuff.
There's always a chance and an opportunity to make some money.
Exactly, exactly, and
No.
to save some money
Yes,
by
sir.
leveraging byproducts of the distillation
Yeah.
for cleaning.
Exactly. Right. Hey, listen. Hey, so I've seen a lot of dirty floors in my day, and we might have a remedy. The Booze Brothers floor cleaning polish.
Exactly. The heads and tails floor
Yeah,
cleaner.
there you go.
Not good enough to drink, but it'll make your floor shine.
Hey, there you go. Hey, spotless. Hey, listen. So now, as you're growing and you're moving through, uh, why does quality win in the long term?
Because that is how you build your longevity. When you can give someone a quality product and they know it's going to be consistent, then you can guarantee yourself in some sense that that next bottle purchase is going to be yours because you're not cutting corners. Even if you're making products for different price points, you still want to give people the best quality and the best value for their money because that's really what matters at the end of the day.
Right, right, right. And that's I'm learning this, man. I'm learning this as we go on, since we started doing Copan vodka and for those that don't know, Copan vodka to share with friends. I got to do that. I got to get me one of them stances like Captain Morgan. You know what I mean? I got to get a pose.
I think when we start doing this on video, I'm gonna make a little shameless plug that's gonna flash on the bottom every time we mention our own products. But that's a part of this too.
Yeah.
It is a part of this industry. Is the whole sometimes when you're small and you're new, you got to remind people that you're out here and what you got. They need to know. They ain't gonna buy it if they don't know you got it.
Man, and dude, that's the one thing since starting this, it's that awareness, right? The constant, as we love to say, the boots on the ground. That's a part of that block to the bottle. You know what I mean? We have to start at these low bearings, in order to figure out, man, what do we say? What do we do? Because to your point, the liquid to lips, okay, that's the part. That's the initial breaking the barrier. Man, I need you to taste this. Now I know I have great juice. Now it's that R&D part as far as the development of, man, what type of bottle should it be in? And people don't think about that, I don't think, man. Some of these bottles, how the hell are some of these bartenders supposed to pour these things? You know what I mean? It's like they're going to the gym.
I always say there's different class of products, and I will say there's the bottles that are for the bartenders, and then there's the decanters
Yeah.
that are for the home and for the collectors and those people. And I see that line getting crossed all the time. And you'll see now when you look at bars, you'll see tequilas in a certain type of bottle.
Yeah.
And it's only because they modeled it after the most popular selling one at the time, not even thinking about the place where you're going to move the most product, which is in your restaurants and bars. And you got to think about the bartenders because if it's a pain in the butt to pour, it's going to get poured a little less if they have a choice. They like the neck to be a certain length. They want a nice grip. They want a nice feel. They want the bottle balanced. The short, stubby bottles that the posi pours don't fit in. There's a lot to go into it when you're building a brand, and you've got to consider that. And then sometimes some people be like, you know what? I don't care. It's going to be on the top shelf, and when they pull it down, they're not going to put a stopper in it to pour it. They're going to free pour it into a snifter, so it'll be all right.
Oh yeah, man. It's like that's how I used to shop for liquor, man. I used to go down the aisle and man, does that bottle jump out at me? Even though it might be, I know good and damn well I'm not gonna see that at the bar at my neighborhood hole in the wall. But it's gonna look real nice on my bar, you know?
And that is part of it. But that's the fun part when you can get to that level where you can be really creative with your packaging and stuff. And I'll say that for us as a smaller brand, that'll come out in our special releases, our barrel picks, where we'll do something unique as far as the bottle that we wouldn't normally do, because we want people to know this one is special. Everything is always going to be great and everything's going to be good, but this one's a little special. This one you're not going to share with everybody. We want you to have your regular weekly pour, but this one is when the fellas come over and you're celebrating something. That's what this one is for.
It's almost like taking him out at the strip club when he getting ready to get married. But then again, it ain't necessarily you got to get married. You might just want to test run what you got.
That's a whole different kind of special, man. That is, you went the whole other way of special.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, special could be wrapped up and packaged in so many different ways. And, alcohol in that moment, it really works. It really works, man, because,
So I'm going to go back to where I was going with this. I'm talking about when your man's got 4 daughters and he finally has a son and he comes over, you got to pull out that 6-8 year bottle of single barrel bourbon and pour him that.
And see, I try to keep it truthful here, people. A man that goes home and he got 4 daughters at home, plus the wife, he needs a whole hell of a lot to drink. And he uses his boys to wine.
Oh, my gosh.
So he needs that escape. He needs that escape. He needs to breathe, breathe again. You thought you were going to get away without me singing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you this something right now. Throughout these episodes, I will go into song. I will bust into song, because music is the key to set you free, and I just want y'all to remember that. I will go into a tune or 2 or 3, especially.
I think I'm going to call J. Anthony Brown and tell him you're trying to murder hits. Don't be stealing that man's stick. He been doing that a long time. You can't be stealing his stuff, man.
Hey, man. Hey, when you in the mood hits. Hey, that certain song, come on, man. And hey, I remember being in the hole in the wall, my brothers. And, and then you got that. Back then, I used to drink a lot of. And DJ hit it one more time. Chew it. A lot of cognac. A lot of it. And I used to love when this one song came on. Baby at the casino. Don't. Come on, boy. You an old blues guy, man. And it took all my money. Come on.
I will not participate in this.
These last $2. Come on, man.
Just for the record, people, we are not drinking while we are filming this episode. Recording this episode. I'm sorry. I wish we were filming right now so y'all can see his face.
So you can see my face, man. I meant that with them last $2, man. Hell, them last $2 hard to come by, man. Yo, what's good, people? It's your main man, Dee Best, one half of the Booze Brothers, and you're tapped into the Booze Brothers podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Copan Vodka, smooth, small batch, and made to share with friends. This is the official Boozeology segment spirit. Make sure you subscribe, like, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. That's at Booze Brothers, and that's Brothers, BRUTHAS. We drop episodes every Friday on Spotify, so pick up your glass and cheers to you. It's the Booze Brothers, baby. The Booze Brothers. All right, man. Let's get back on point, man. So, for newer brands that, really look at how to get inside this industry, man, because this industry, just like all industries that we look around, I call them prohibition. You know, you're going to battle that. Um, and when you're first starting out, you're going to hear the naysayers. Oh, it's oversaturated. Why would you want to do a vodka? That's what I just did. Why do you want to do a vodka? It's so many vodkas out there. What makes you think your vodka is going to stand out as opposed to all the hundreds and thousands of different vodkas and brands that's out there? What do you say to a person to keep them encouraged about what they if that's in their heart to do, to keep moving forward and to go through the process.
I say you've got to develop enough knowledge about what you're doing to be able to shrug off the naysayers. Because if you decide I want to make a rum and you come to me and you say I want to make a rum and I ask you what your top 3 competitors are that you want to go against and you don't know that, you've got homework to do. I think the spirits industry is tough. It requires a lot of effort, time, and money just to participate. But before you devote all that other stuff, you should have some kind of desire to want to do it. And then you got to have knowledge about where you want to be in it. Because there's a lot of ways to enter the industry, be it beer, wine, or spirits, those 3 alone, plus within each of those categories, you have different levels and tiers where you want to be at. And so I always give people homework to see if they're serious about it. And the first thing I always tell people to do, and this is a free consultant session for all those people interested, is go to your local big big liquor store. The category you want to get to, I want you to go look at that shelf and decide who on that shelf you're going to bump off in order for your product to be up there. And then I want you to buy the bottles. I want you to buy like 10, 12 bottles. And I want you to go home and do your own NCAA bracket of all of the bottles on that floor. And I want you to come down to your final 4. And then that's who you want to compete with. And if you say these are the 4 whose flavor profiles most match what I want to do, now you've got a starting point. Because that's what do you want your product to taste like? And if you've only drank one product your entire life and you say, "Oh, I want to make one," you don't have enough of a base of information in order to make an educated decision. So you've got to go and you've got to drink. When we were developing our gins, we drank probably 30 different kinds in our process. And yeah, but it was work though. It was really important for me to say, I want to make a gin. I want to make a gin to dispel some of the past sadness that gin has caused for our community. And I wanted to make something that was good, that had a lot of flavor, but also I made 2 different main expressions because I wanted one for my bartenders, for my restaurant people. I wanted one that would make really great cocktails. A citrus forward gin at 100 proof that you could make great cocktails with. And then I wanted to make something fun because I'm Dominican, so it had to be a Caribbean style. So we made a Caribbean style gin. It tastes nothing like our citrus gin, but that one was just for fun. That's the play. That's the awesome. That's the gin you could substitute in rum cocktails, believe it or not. But that was because I drank so many different kinds to see what was out there, see how so many other people chose to create their gin expressions. It's really a lot of the art comes in when you can see how one category can be represented in multiple different ways. So if you want to make a product, go out there and drink the product you want to make and figure out
Exactly.
who you want to play against.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's definitely how we took the steps to do the vodka.
Yeah.
We had a house vodka. That's amazing. Well, as I started to venture out, just as you said, so ladies and gentlemen, what you heard him say about taking the steps. When I got with this guy 4 years ago, it may sound like we've been together longer, like, from the room to the tomb type thing. This is my brother from another mother. But when we got together, he gave me that list. I had to go do that homework. And to his point, I would go on bars. I would sit and try different vodkas. I'll do comparisons while I'm there. Wow, this is heavy loaded on the front. wow, this really hit me in the gut, but then I'm still feeling this. So then I actually started to realize, like, hey, I do like vodka, but I don't like the burn so much. That's not too much fun for me. So I wanted to do the same, just like he was talking about gin. I want to have something that you can sip, be more refined. I want vodka to be looked at in a different light, not just that one thing you're going to get and you slam that drink back, or you're thinking of an old Russian film with Mucheska and Rolinska. and they're sitting in these big ass coats in the cold and we're going to drink vodka. It wasn't that kind of deal. I wanted something that we could sit and it'll sit there and you can actually taste these notes. When it actually settles on your palate, the burn dissipates within seconds of it actually touching your palate. This is when you're really taking the time to discover a cleaner, you know, more provocative way of making a drink using a classic spirit such as vodka itself.
When we were talking about it, the way I looked at it after you giving me your spiel in the only way you can, I was like, okay, we're going to make a speakeasy vodka. We're going to make a vodka that you can put one ice cube on and you put it in that glass and you can swirl it the same way you would a good bourbon or a cognac. And you can sit there and you can swirl it. And as you drinking it, it's soft, it's smooth, but the water opens it up more. And then you're like, wow, this is vodka. And it's like, yes, this is vodka. It's just the clean, smooth, soft vodka that lets you relax and enjoy. I say with a steak or a stick,
There
you
you
can
go.
enjoy this vodka.
There you go. I love it, and that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that, and I really don't like the word smooth. I really wish there was another a way of saying it, because that is just so common for people to say. It's so smooth. It's so smooth, and the thing is, it's like I look for something to say how they really, their face expression, because they already have this look before they try it, and they're all tight and they squeeze and look like they're constipated. You know what I mean? It's like, in my mind, drink the damn vodka. It's not gonna hurt you. You're gonna be all right.
I mean, a lot
Yeah,
of products do hurt you.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean,
At,
people
at the end of the day, it is alcohol.
yeah,
You know?
people brace themselves because they're
Yeah,
expecting that burn. They're
yeah,
expecting the bite.
yeah,
And then when they get something that doesn't have it, I love the look on their face. It's almost like it's enjoyment, but it's also relief. Like,
yeah.
ooh, I got through that. And I mean, think about
Yeah,
it. We're
yeah,
serving people room temperature, generally spirits, at our tasting events, and they're just sitting there drinking a little quarter ounce shot out of a communion cup
yeah.
at
Unreal.
room temperature. And I tell people all the time,
Yeah,
if it tastes great like this, imagine when you get it home and you
yeah.
actually put it on ice or you put it into a cocktail. That is what makes the difference. If it tastes good at a tasting, you know you've got a quality product, because that is the worst it's probably going to taste.
at any point in time, man, when you're doing something at room temperature, and that's the thing. So, man, we're gonna move this thing along into something that we want the audience to get used to. Uh, the brother has to decode a little bit what's going on. For my people back on the block, for my people around the way, we need you to understand what we doing, what we saying, how we moving, right? So this is called doo, 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 doo. Did I get that? Man, I'm gonna need. We need something else beside that.
Hey,
I
I'm
gotta
wearing
have.
that out. Leave me alone,
I
man.
know, man. I know you love. I'm waiting on you. That's why I gave you the look. No, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you
Craig
do
Elliott.
it. Shout out to our main man, Craig Elliott, DJ Craig
Craig
Elliott. So we have this segment. It's called the Decode. Yeah. So, and with this takeaway, man, it's about the culture of the business. at hand. You know, when you look at something and you're creating something from scratch, it's more than optics, right? People get fascinated by what you see. It's like the example you used earlier. A celebrity can come in, do that thing, you know, pull up with a three. Next thing you know, he leaves the gym and then he got a line lying around the corner to sign off on his bottle. That's no diss or anything to that. He has created a persona, a lifestyle, a following for what he truly does great in this world. And now being great in that arena allows him to open up to other markets and be something of a magnet to draw his followers in. All we're saying is people such as myself and NG and the many of us that are creating spirits, especially black spirit makers, man, we hand to hand combat every day. We live and breathe this differently because we're in our distilleries. We're in these back rooms deciding what type of formulation or what kind of craft spirit are we gonna present to the world and not knowing if they're gonna love it. They're not just gonna get up in this line and sign off on it because, hey, man, I scored 50 points last night. We don't have that backing or following. We have what we put into our product, our heart, our soul, our creativity to bring you something that we hope that you enjoy. But the thing about it is, we're never short on passion. We're never short on the vision that we have when we first get into this thing, you know, because it is sometimes a daunting task and can be very much overwhelming to get to that next level. But at the end of the day, I think NG would agree it's ours. You know, it's our baby. You know, and
And it's about
yeah,
that ownership of it.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
about creating your brand, your way, your heart, your effort, and your connection with people. Because you always say that we're not in the liquor business now because of the landscape. We're in the media business.
yes, that's
And
right,
I can tell
that's
all of
right,
you
that's right.
that when we first met, there's no way I thought I'd be sitting in front of a microphone recording anything
Right.
because I'm a maker.
Yeah.
I like to tinker, I like to create, I love to make. And if there was a way for me to just be in the lab 24/7, I would. But from the what do you say, from where to where?
Yeah, yeah.
From the streets.
From
And
the block to the bottle,
exactly.
from
And we gotta
from the streets to the mix.
and
This
and
is what we do, man.
and that became the thing.
Yeah.
I determined that though I've been making spirits a long time, I had to come to this side of it
Yeah.
in order to get the word out and get the message out and to connect with people, because the people that know me and know the products and have been rocking with me a long time, that's one thing. But in order to grow and in order to sustain and in order to bring other people into this industry, I had to I had to change myself and say, you know what? You're no longer the dude in black sitting in the corner. I'm still gonna be in all black, but now I'm gonna be behind the microphone. I'm gonna be behind the bar, and I'm gonna get out there and do this outreach because we gotta move this work,
Oh
son.
yeah, man. You know it, man. You heard him. You know, we gotta take over these corners, boy.
Exactly.
You know,
You know,
and that's the thing, man. I think that's the part about it. I do love educating our audience and I want to say our fan base of people that really want to get behind what we do. But I want them to understand, you know, this is not about partying. If that's what you coming to listen for, that's not us, man. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do the things that we do, our little slapstick comedy and all that. But at the end of it all, man, we want you to walk away with knowledge and understanding that for us that's in it, this is a serious thing. It's not about partying and getting slammed and man, I need something to a chaser to knock off what I drank last night. We want to give you uh, a inside track of how it is for makers and what we do, because we want to provide a product that you go out and enjoy responsibly, right? So it's don't get me wrong, we turn up with the best of them now. You know, we aren't the booze brothers for nothing now, because hey, we do what we do, but at the same time, we want people to really enjoy the products we create. You know, and I don't know, NG. I mean, that's just how I feel. I'm just passionate about what we put out there to the people that enjoy our products, and to let them know that, hey, this is serious business, you know, in our EPM node.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there's going to be constant music,
That's right.
film.
That's right.
There's gonna
That's
be
right.
you may need to have your Google out just to see and try to catch some of these references we're making, but it is gonna be the goal of this for me is to do all of that. I want the education piece because I feel like a lot about the liquor industry is based on rumors and innuendo, but there's a lot of not facts going
A
on
lot of
about,
myths.
and I mean, and long standing ones, you know. And then it's about, okay, we gave you the history of this. Now let me give you some cocktails that you could try that's not just an orange juice, you know, and grenadine. We want to help you expand your palate
Expand your
with
palate.
different things.
That's right.
And we also want to do some shameless publicity for ourselves because I can't dunk. Well, not no more. I did a long time ago, but not very often.
Hey man, come
And
on,
we
man.
we got it, and that's what this is for me. This is me stretching myself in a sense to be like, okay, I'm letting people talk to me. I want people to know me. I want to connect. And you know, the booze is what we make, but it's not only who we are. And you're going to get all of that in this. And unfortunately or fortunately, everything you hear is going to be genuinely how we talk, how we act, and that's just going to be what it is. And if you've seen us at a cigar lounge near you or pulled up to a bar near you, this is really the conversations we have. We're just bringing it to a wider audience so you can get this mix of education and entertainment from us.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, and as we go on this journey together, you know, we'll get more polished behind the mic together. And because like everything and anything that you do, it's always a learning curve. But I guarantee you this: the Booze Brothers are up for the task to get in that ass. Come on, man. Hey.
What? Oh gosh. See, I was gonna end on something. Look, okay, it's my turn now. Let me get my little closer. This is our first episode. I'm-
Look, you can't even
I'm-
get it out.
I know.
You need a drink behind
I
that,
had
don't
it
you?
already
That's-
too. I
that's
had it
right.
already in my
that was
brain.
my sports side because you know my center of gravity. I can't fly like I used to. You know what I mean? Hey, I got to knock off about 100 pounds. You
Yeah.
know, but I can still talk trash with the best of them, though.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my Gary V.
Come on, man. I want
From my,
that.
from
I
my
wanna
man
hear it.
Gary V.
Gary V.
He said, if you're not ashamed when you look back at the first thing you did, you waited too long.
Come on,
The
man.
man said you got to get out there and do it. And this is me getting out here and doing it.
Yeah.
So good,
Yeah.
bad, or ugly,
Yeah,
we're going to keep this thing rolling.
that's right.
And if you stay with us, just like the spirits when I first started, every iteration is going to be better.
That's right.
I'll get more polished, even though my man over here got way more experience behind the mic and in film and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my
Hey.
part to hold it down.
Hey,
You know, I'll be the yin to his yang, and I'm going to hold it down with you guys. I'm going to make sure you get the education portion of this.
that's right. That's right.
And this is going to be a good ride.
Hey man, look, I think today was a good one. This was that first day. Today is always going to be a good day when you and I together, brother. You know, see, I could have won the song right there, but I didn't. I could have dropped one right there. You and I, you and I, you and I. Boy, come on, man. Don't get me started. Look. Next episode, and these episodes drop every single Friday. So we're going to close out right here. So the next episode, man, we're going to be talking about craft spirits ain't a hobby. Whoa. I like that already for the people up top, you know?
I don't even want to go there. You know,
Look,
I got a lot of stories about that.
Look, I know, man. I saw the way your face lit up like that because it ain't no damn hobby. You know, it may feel like it to some, but hey, it's the real deal. But listen, the call to action, definitely check us out on the Booze Brothers at Spotify, Apple Pod, and any of every and all of your streaming programs and outlets. And definitely check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Tiki Taki. We are there doing what we do. And of course, if you want to purchase you some Copan Vodka, go to www.copan, that's COPAJN. The J is silent for all my Joes and Josephines back in the hood, Chicago, South Side, Wild Hunnets. .com. That's couponvodka.com, and find out where all your local stores are if you're here rolling with us in the shy. And always go to my main man at www.ng
Distillery.
distillery.com and get your bitters, your topicals, your one hitters from gin, rum, vodka, and we do have whiskey and bourbon on the ballots these days. So definitely check him out there. And man, as we always do when we together and we clinking our glasses and we looking at the world, as we got to give the people what they want.
Give the people what they need.
Because at the end of the day, we keep it nice. Till next time, people, we are the Blues Brothers, baby. See you next Friday, people. Peace.